The royal house celebrations are ongoing. Makazi is chanting and praising and appreciating the ancestors, saying different praises to them, representing the entire family. She mentions that they have all set all their differences aside so that they can be one. She pours traditional beer on the ground as a sign of quenching the ancestors' thirst, mentioning all ancestors' names. James falls asleep at the hospital waiting for an update about Lesedi. The doctor walks in and tells James that the blood test came back negative from allergic reactions, so now they want to do a brain scan. Tenda is concerned about James not being at work. Ndiwabo tells him that Lesedi also hasn't been attending school, leaving them both with questions. And they're so worried that they tell Mpo, and Mpo decides with them to go and visit the Motsamai household to find out what exactly could be wrong. An instruction they got from Mpo as well. On the other hand, the ceremony is going on as they all welcome the chief Azwindini to his throne. There's a lot of dancing and ululating going on. Tenda visits the Motsamai household and finds Imani at home. She reacts with a shock as he is the last person she was expecting. Tenda tells Imani they were worried about them and had to come to check on them. Mpo insisted that he checks on them without fail. This touches Imani's heart and she realizes that she misses her friend so dearly. Tenda reminds Imani that Imani and James are the ones who tend on Mpo and not the other way round, so they are the ones who are in the wrong. She has been distant because the Mutsamais hurt her. Imani wants to mend fences with Mpo. She also tells Tenda that Lesedi is in hospital. Tenda asks Mpo if it's okay for him to visit Lesedi at the hospital, and Imani agrees to that. At the royal house, Azwindini thanks everyone for attending and also says praises to the ancestors. He tells the people that he has been summoned by the ancestors to lead the people. Today, I have good news, says the chief. I have a message from the ancestors. They want you to prosper. They want you to get jobs. Him, as the chief, promises the people that he will make sure everything goes well. He goes on to tell the people that the new chief of Tate, Azwindini, will be humble, caring, respectful, and loving, just as the ancestors have instructed. Mpo arrives with her young sister looking ravishing. They get everyone's attention, especially the chief. Buchilo welcomes Zama at his house and carries the bags with the clothes into the house. He also goes straight to change into Zama's collection. Masindi sees Mpo and his sister and is very ready to stir up trouble, but stopped by Makazi. However, she mocks Mpo and Susan, saying one would swear they were decent people, with a laugh. Mr. Ravele tells Azwindini that he has great news for him. The chief is excited to hear the news. Susan and Rindani notice something different about Azwindini. Since he came back, he has presence. Susan goes on to say that a chief's presence is supposed to be felt. It means he's been restored. Rindani teases Susan, asking her if she doesn't wish to be in Azwindini's life again, but Susan refuses and denied the thought. Mpo and her sister seem to be enjoying the ceremony as they are in smiles and giggles, looking very pretty. Mpo's sister is asked to dance with Azwindini. She agrees to this and is joined by the chief on the dance floor. They both dance the song away as people are ululating and praising them. The chief dances until he removes his hat, giving the dance floor his all. He has never danced so much. At the hospital, Tenda is having a laughing conversation with Lesedi. This shocks James and Imani because when they left, he was swollen and unconscious. However, with a lot of questions, James is very happy to see his son smiling again. As Tenda leaves, he tells James he has a good kid. He must look after him very well. James wonders what Tenda did to help his son in his absence. Buchilo walks out of his room looking on point in one of Zama's outfits. She is impressed and very excited to work with him. Buchilo asks Zama why everything feels like an audition. Because it is, says Zama, telling him to go and change into other clothes. Buchilo actually thought they would be in a relationship but was mistaken. Zama sees him as a model for his clothing line. Buchilo is heartbroken once again as he had seen a potential date. The revelers have a meeting with the royal family. After Mpo made a mistake, the revelers decided to correct the mistake. Someone kneels before the chief covered in a blanket. Well, guys, this is the end of today's episode. Could they have brought another wife for the chief? Who knows? But we'll have that information in the next episode. Remember to like and subscribe.